Hey everybody, this is Brad Alexander with the Alexander Home Team, and today is the day. You see, today is episode 3 of property taxes. So here's the deal. The county has sent you your assessment, all right? And in that assessment, you're probably like, holy cow, there's no way I could, county's got to be wrong, right? So at that point, or maybe the county's right, you just don't want to pay that much in taxes. Totally get it. All right. So you pick up the phone, you call Brad 512-361-1568, and you're like, Brad, can you help us? Folks, I'm going to be real honest with you. This year, it's going to be hard to help you. All right? But we will, and we'll try. All right. But the truth of the matter is that on this sheet of paper, all right, so on the back, the county sends you 3 papers. All right. This one on the back has section 3, reasons for protest. All right. There's 14 reasons there. Today, we're going to focus on 3. You see, there's 14 different ways that you can appeal / protest your valuation. You're not appealing your taxes, folks. So if anybody tells you that you shouldn't, we're not fighting our taxes. We're fighting our valuation. All right. And so if someone out there says, well, you shouldn't fight your taxes, you should pay your taxes, I am paying my taxes. I'm just making sure that I'm paying the right amount. All right. So we're not appealing our taxes. We're appealing our valuation. All right. And since there's 14 different ways that you can do that on here, for the average person, there's only 3 ways that we can appeal our valuation. The other 11 of them have to do with ag exempt, all different. I mean, one of them is they have the wrong name on the sheet. Well, you know what? They're going to put the right name on there and then tax you the same amount. So there's a lot on there. Let's focus on 3. So number 1, the main way that we have fought our valuation year after year after year is that we have told the county, you're wrong. All right. And so remember, the county is not supposed to be using realtor information. All right. Texas is a disclosure state. So if there's nothing you get out of this video, get this right here. And we're barely 3 minutes into it. So get this. Texas is a non-disclosure state. If anybody with the county ever asks you what you paid for your house, you don't have to tell them. So that's number 1. Before we go on to anything else, make sure you understand that you do not have to tell them what you paid for your house to the county. It's a non-disclosure state. That's a law, folks. It's not an opinion. That's not an ordinance. That's a law with the state of Texas. So we're going to go over 3 different ways that you can protest your value with the county. Number 1 is wrong value. All right. On this sheet of paper, it is the very first one. It says incorrect appraised market value. My argument on this one has always been the only way to find out the market value on a house is for me to put a sign in your yard and tell the whole world it's for sale. That's the only way that we can find out the market value of a house. Other than that, we can say it's an appraisal value. We can say it's a taxable value. But my problem with the county on this sheet of paper is the fact that they use the word market. And the only way that you can find out what something is worth is letting everybody know that it's for sale. All right. So is the county, number 1, if the county gives you a valuation earlier this year, before the craziness happened, we sold a house and literally I looked at the tax records and these people had been being taxed at $375,000. We sold their house for $319,000. Let me repeat that. They had been taxed at $375. It was past the appeal time. They were moving. They really weren't that worried about it. but I wanted to let them know that the county had been if they were being overtaxed by $50,000-$60,000 that year, imagine the year before that and the year before that, they had been overtaxed for a long time. So that's one reason why we tell people, take notice to your taxable value rate, your market rate, your market value, should I say, that's been deemed by the county. So bad news on that one this year, folks. Our values have gone through the roof. We're seeing, but the good news is that these are supposed to have been done on valuations of 2020. So your valuation is supposed to be the market valuation of 2020, not April 2021, because April 2021, it's been crazy. All right. So on our first fight, we're going to have a little bit of harder time this year fighting the value. All right. And that's been our main fight for years and years and years. So I'm just letting you know it's going to be tough. Number two. All right. Number two, value unequal to comparables. I call this one the neighbor fight. If your house is deemed at $200,000, but your neighbor living down the street has the exact same house, floor plan, 3 doors down, and they're being taxed at $170,000, and you can look on tax records and see this, folks. All you got to do is stay up one night, make you a drink, and start going to whatever it's your county you're in, CAD, it's CAD, all right? So Hayes CAD, Harris CAD, Bear CAD, whatever county you're in, go to CAD and find your house and click on your neighbors, all right? Click on their square footage, and all you got to do is see, how close is their square footage to yours and what are they being taxed at? You see, because the county did not come into your house. They didn't drive by. They didn't come in and see that they've got brand new wood floors and you still got 1993 tile floors that are 12 inches squares. All right. So they have to give you a very generic value. So if your neighbor is being taxed at 170 and you're being taxed at 200 and they're comparable houses. All right. So remember, we want to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So don't compare your house to if your house is a 1,500 square foot 1-story house and their house is a 2,400 square foot 2-story house. Sorry, county's going to tell you go find something that right? Now on this exact one, and number one, I learned this a couple years ago. You have the right to ask the county for what their appraisal package was. Their appraisal package is the houses that they used to compare to yours to give your house a value. All right, appraisal package. So in this one, you need to ask the county for their appraisal package so that they have to divulge to you the evidence they have and why they priced your house where they priced it. All right. And then you can say, well, this neighbor's house is priced here and this neighbor's house is priced there. Why am I right? So number two is value unequal to your comparable houses. Comparable houses would be houses close to you, similar lot size, 1 stories compared to 1 stories, 2 stories compared to 2 stories, and size of the house matters. All right. So that's that. Our third option, and this actually happened to us one time. All right. So when it happens, it's great, but it doesn't happen very often. You see, a couple of years ago, the county added a 2nd floor to my house and wanted me to tax it, but yet there was never a 2nd floor to my house. All right. So I went up to the tax office and I said, my house is X amount of square feet. Y'all have it my house is at, I think it's right at 2,000 square feet. They had my house at 2,600 square feet. And in the tax thing, they had 2,000 square feet below and 600 square feet above. So they added a 600 square foot 2nd story to my house. Folks, at the amount of money per square foot that these houses are going for, that was a lot. So they knocked that off and fixed everything. So that's the easiest fight when the county's wrong. Maybe they're wrong on your lot size. Somebody posted on my Facebook the other day about, I can't remember what they were wrong, but that's, yeah, let them know and they should fix that. All right. So let's recap, folks. We got 3 different ways of appealing the value. Remember, we're not fighting our taxes. We're fighting the value of our house, which leads to our taxes. Number 1, the wrong value. The county uses the word market. We don't like the word market in here, but let's just say that they valued your house at $375, and I call you up and say, sorry, I can only sell it for $320. That's a wrong valuation. All right. But that's very highly unlikely in this crazy market of 2021. Number 2, value unequal to comparables. One thing I've got a problem and guys, this one's not a bad one because the county does some really funny things. You see, last year, 2020 taxes or valuation, my dirt doubled in value. This year, it went up 0. Why did it's like they got this magical hat over there and they say, okay, this year we're going to do this. This year we're going to do this. All right. So a lot of the things that the county appraiser's office doesn't always make a lot of sense, but make sure my last story, they are a little tricky. All right. So number 2 is value unequal to your comparables around you. That's the neighbor clause. All right. Number 3 is other. It's called other on here. And you have to explain what the other is. Usually I use other for they just blatantly wrong on something. My house, they added a second story to my house and there is no second story. Make sure you understand on this, folks. You do your homework, you do it smart because the county's good at what they do. All right. Somebody called me the other day and said, Brad, I've got a story. And I should have called him up and got him on this video. Didn't have time, busy, but somebody called me up and said, Brad, I went in, I fought my taxes, and he won. All right. He won fighting taxes. Now make sure y'all follow me here. All right. It's a property with an ag exempt. So he won his valuation fight. So they dropped the value of the entire property down. So let's say the entire property is $500,000. They dropped it all the way down. What they did is they raised the value of the 1 acre in the house, and they dropped the ag exempt property way down. Basically, what I'm telling you, folks, and I'll get more into this in the next video in exemptions, but through lowering the value of the property, they raised his taxable value. Whoa, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. All right, so, you got to keep your eye on the county. It's checks and balances, folks. And so make sure that they're doing what they do. We're not fighting our taxes. We are appealing our value. All right, that's a key thing. So there you go, folks. If you need anything, give me a call, 512-361-1568. If you would like to know the value of your house, because it's crazy these days, folks. I mean, just during this video, your house probably went up in value $10,000, and I'm really not kidding. But anyways, if you would like to know the value of your house, give us a call. We would love to help you in any way that we possibly can. Once again, I'm Brad Alexander with the Alexander Home Team, here to make your dreams a reality.